Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Play Dark Cloud 2. I don't remember what episode we're on. I recently uploaded an update video about 2 weeks ago, actually at this point. Saying that I'd upload episode 19 and then do all this stuff. About that, Thorn accidentally exported every single episode we've done since 18 as 1080p quality files, which would be cool if we had the internet to upload those. Currently with my internet, it has about an 8-day upload time or stuff like that. Oh boy. Because you have to go through and re-export all of them. So a little bit later on getting out than that. That's just to finish off Chapter 2 though. For Chapter 3 onwards, which you'll be halfway through it by the time you get this, I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to do the entire chapter in its entirety before I start uploading. At least for Chapter 3. I don't know if it's going to be that way for 4 or 5 onwards. But I want to at least get Chapter 3 done so I can get a good buffer going. That should at least get me through till I'm done with my current job in December. And then I'll have a lot more free time to do shit like this. I won't have any money, but I'll have a lot more free time. So I cannot stand that job any longer than the date I've given them. Which is 2 months from now. So hopefully I can get Chapter 3 done in that entire time. I'll probably release an upload video saying the same thing after episode 19 goes up. But yeah, that's where things currently stand. Also, I've been doing a lot of things. As you can see, I currently have Melaine in the party because I've been working on Monica's sword, which is currently at +5. Her bracelet has leveled up quite a bit, especially since, yeah. Come on, find your words. Since we unlock the magic absorbability with Monica's sword. Because if you kill something with that, it gives experience to both weapons, not just the sword. So yeah, this leveled up quite a bit, and I decided that I would actually level up a little bit to get it ready for the Bandit Brassard. Because once we actually get it into Monica's bracelets, that's going to play a big role into how we upgrade our weapons moving forward. For any of you who played this game before, you know why. And I did go ahead and upgrade this. I believe. Oh god. Prepare, Ben. Prepare. You gotta have all this stuff up before you start the episode. Oh my god, you're worthless. Yes, I know. I wanted to get everyone's weapons up to at least a level tier 4 weapon, I believe, which I think is what the chopper is. That's Max's chart. Where's Monica's? There it is. Let me open the image. Actually, the chopper is only a tier 3 weapon. But yeah. I was planning on doing Monica's swords, but if I show you my playtime real quick, that seemed to lag out a little bit. Not what I wanted. Okay, these are all my backup saves and stuff from when we were playing through before. I think there's 13 files altogether. So this is my current playtime before grinding. This is my playtime after grinding. Doing it as often as I can, hence why a lot of this is taking so long. I believe the 27 hours was the last episode, by the way. I believe. It might have been 28, 30 by then, but I believe that was the last episode that we did. And Monica's sword isn't the only thing I've done up. We got Max's Smash Wrench all the way up. We still need to actually synthesize it, decide what we want to go to. I haven't decided what I wanted to make it yet. If you continue upward, it keeps to his wrench tree, and you keep having wrenches. But going down makes his hammer tree. But I haven't quite decided what I wanted that on yet, so I haven't actually upgraded it. Let's organize everything. Weapons first. We also found quite a bit of weapons rerunning the dungeon floors. As I got 3 wrenches, which will come in handy for upgrading weapons later. Found a drill wrench. Found a turtle shell hammer, which I actually decided to level up. The turtle shell hammer is actually the first weapon in Max's normal hammer tree. This is also why I haven't decided whether or not I want to take the wrench that far, because I do have a turtle shell hammer. It's just going to be harder to build up because it'll have less experience, whereas if I do it with one of the wrenches, it'll have more synthesis points. So yeah, we did find a couple of those, so we might be going that way. We also found Kubera's Hand, which has the Thief ability, if I am thinking right. Yep, Steal. And this actually almost immediately evolves into one of Max's legendary weapons, called the Big Buck's Hammer, which has one use and one use only. And we'll get into that more after we start getting into the heavier synthesis stuff. Same with Monica's Brassard that she's leveled up. I'll get into all that a little later on. But all you need for this, if you want to do it yourself, is 40 in attack and 41 in all of its bottom 4 stats. So not too terribly hard to get. Going straight from the Kubera's Hand, it might take a little while, as you need, 12, 15, I think, synthesis points in all of them. Yeah, to get to 40, or 14, actually, to get to... Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I swear. But yeah, that's where that is at the moment. We actually went through a couple of his guns as well. As you can see, his Jurak gun is also ready to go up. I don't know if I'll actually upgrade the Jurak gun, or if I will just pump as many stats into it as I can and break it down and make one of the other weapons into the weapon that I want for him. Because that is a lot of stuff that we actually need to level up to evolve it again, and not a lot of stat points with it. So we'll see on that one. We also redid the bell trigger. This one was completely from scratch. So I decided to do that, as the one we had wasn't all particularly that good, seeing as we just did it for recruiting our father, and that was it. We also got a new weapon type here, which rounds off Max's weapon or damage types, the grenade launcher, which is already ready to go up to the Dark Viper with a lot of synthesis points left to go. So yeah, let's go ahead and build up what we can. Go ahead and take you to the Dark Viper. Which is actually a tier 5 weapon, believe it or not. And if we wanted to keep it on the path of the rocket launchers, we need to go to the bottom one. And as you can see here, this is the main reason I did this in particular. The stronger you get your weapons, it'll require you to defeat certain enemies before you can move them on. These are Chapter 4 enemies, so we won't be able to actually build up this weapon anymore till Chapter 4, so you just can't go haywire with it, unfortunately. Otherwise, my grinding time would be up to 100 hours by now. Alright, we're going to go ahead and build up the frozen tuna. They just run around smacking people with the fish. And the frozen tuna also can go to the Big Buck's Hammer. That is its bottom path. So if you never find a Kubera's Hand, that's completely fine. You can do it straight from the hammer route. I know there's a few merchants that sell the frozen tuna at places. I actually think there's one that sells the Kubera's Hand, so never mind. The top path here is what you want to keep it on to keep it in its hammer. And you could probably actually get to all of it, but attack right now, actually. Smash of 40... Chill of 45? Yeah, that wouldn't be that hard to get to. Attack of 50, though, so keep that in mind. But yeah. So that's that one. The other thing we could really take up right now is Monica's Broussard, which I don't want to do quite yet because it's only a level 5 after all. Yeah. Also, I went and leveled up some of Monica's other swords to level 5. These two are going to go on to be weapons later. These ones I'll probably just end up selling for money. I kind of want to keep going on the Sandbreaker's path, but I'd rather do that later when I can switch, train everything easier. We spent 10 minutes in this menu already going over everything. Oh my god. Yeah. That's the basic gist of everything. Also, we got a lot of crystals and a lot of these from that, which is good, because I'm hoping that today we'll be able to get to the story point that I want to get to in order to begin to upgrade everything. Let's get our healing items back to the top here, which I actually think we're running fairly low on. Yeah, there we go. Now let's jump back into Bounds Valley. And first off, this is the floor I started training the sword on. We got 72 kills in it. I don't think I really reran anything else. 24, 23, 18, 31. It looks like I ran this floor twice. Ran that one once. This one, this is the main floor I trained on, because the enemies here are very easy to kill. And you ain't gotta worry about any big tough enemies like here. Because here, if you're training Monica's sword, it's fine, because the elephants go down fairly fast to it and they're worth more experience. But the rock golems are a pain in the ass if you don't have items. So, 940 enemies defeated. This is not the best spot to train on in the floor. Actually, if I remember right, this one right here is, but we haven't reached it yet. So yeah, that's the thing. Now we're going to the Smiling Fairy Village. That was way too long an introduction. But I did almost 12 hours of grinding, so I guess 12 minutes going over it all isn't that bad, hopefully. But we're going to keep Melaine in the party for now, as I want to build up Monica's sword a decent amount more before we get into too much more of the plot, which is indeed coming up. Yeah, see how easily we can kill the Gemrons? That is why we did it in Little Dragon Counterattack. So much easier to kill. Hello, Smiling Fairy. We've had Smiling Fairies before, haven't we? They appear on earlier floors, yeah? Yeah, I like to think that they did. If not, there'll be a prompt on screen for them, but I'm pretty sure they were in an older floor. That's all for Thorn to figure out. Not my problem. Probably just called me an asshole on the bottom of the screen. Oh! Also, while I run through, I decided to take the camera away. Technically, it's still recording me right now. I just moved the picture up over it. And that's because my lighting's not that good, and hopefully when I move in December, I'll be able to get a much better recording setup. You know, actually set up. So, yeah. We could leave right now if we wanted to, but you know me, I gotta kill every enemy on the floor. Get all the items I possibly can. Since a lot of this will be cut out, we'll be all good. I probably should have checked the recording path before I tried recording this. Because I recorded most of... Actually, I don't know if I have recorded anything else since then. I was gonna say don't launch another one already. Don't want to make Thorn happy this early in the video. Oh yeah, diorama stuff. It's been so long since I've ran a floor where I actually had to pick it up. Okay, I'm kind of glad I didn't get hit there, but what was that? I was clearly looking at the closer monster, and Monica targeted the one running towards her. Which I guess saved me from being hit there, but still. Would have been so easy for the other one to turn around and just whack me. Far over the misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old. And we're back. Alright, use that up. We spent less time on that floor than we did the introduction. Oh, jeez. Also, if you discover over here first, this will where the next pointer will be. Because technically our next story event lies there. Curse Mass. I think this has a new enemy in it. So yeah, just be in mind of that if you completed those floors first. Ew, King Mimic. Is this the first time we've encountered these guys here? Their moveset, if it is, their moveset's the same as it is in every other dungeon. Wouldn't hurt the right pod to get some experience. I really want to take that roly poly out before we go over our new enemy. And the rat pipe currently does not have a way to guard, so I'd rather just run up here and get the experience. Oh, why do you have to go so close to a dragon? Get over here. There you go. Nicopaus has 2 attacks. One of them, he launches fire at you from a distance. Come on, don't get the dragon involved. Get your butt over here. Come on. Quit being a pansy. Get over here. There we go. The second one is a kick. And those spikes on his feet aren't for show. They do piercing damage. However, take out quite easily with Monica's sword. I kind of call these things dragons, even though they're own little species. It's called Little Dragon Counterattack, and most titles that they're in refer to them as dragons. They're Gemrons. Dragons are a whole different thing that we'll get into later. Oh, that's a dead end. Well, back to randomly exploring till something exciting happens. Yay! And here I'd like to show off the wonders that is the Gemron monster transformation. It's unlocks into oblivion. That's actually the first time I've tried it in the PS4 version of this game. So I wanted to make sure that wasn't something they patched out. So that's why I stuck them on the corner. But yes. The monster transformation Gemron can infinitely stun most enemies. It's great. That's why I love it so much. There is one that's technically better, damage output wise, if you have enough healing items. And it counts towards the item only clear, which I find hilarious. But we'll get to that in Chapter 5, I think it is, when we can recruit that one. So, got a little ways away yet. Oop, there is the thingamabob. I guess we're picking that up first, okay. There's an interesting fade out there as I grab the thing. Okay. This is against a more open enemy. I think it's so broken! Now, if you actually have managed to level this thing up, which is very, very hard, by the way, even in the best grinding area of the final dungeon, it takes a while to level these guys up. But if you manage to do so, using those guys to do 300-400 damage a hit, it's kind of hilarious. I figured I'd just show that off. And I probably have at this point already. I think, maybe? I don't know. But if you really wanted to, you could do that to get the Monster Clear badge on Elephant Army in the Valley already. If you really wanted to. I just did it on the big guys because the one I actually demonstrated, quote-unquote, it on, I accidentally just switched the wrong things at maxing. Oh, I know, I'm going to try this. I know they're not, because I remember the control mapping, but I swear the L buttons are reversed from what they used to be. Or the stick press downs. I know they're not. I know for a fact that they're not. But for some reason it just feels that way, and I don't know why. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled program, just skipping around until we find something interesting. Like him missing me right there. I have no idea how he did that. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, soaring through the sky, little ensigns. Alright, and that is every monster on the floor. Not too terribly exciting a floor. Why does it get 100 degrees hot in here when I start recording? I've been freezing in here all day. Now I'm actually recording. I'm hot as hell. But as you can see, we have another Stargate on this floor. A lot like the one that we found in Rainbow Butterfly Wood, we can't quite access that yet. So, have to keep that one in mind. We are the Roly-Poly Brothers. There is a new enemy on this floor, I want to say. I think it's one you actually need a scoop of, so I'll point it out when we get there. Yep, this guy right here. Easy. These guys roll at you, and they roll at you very fast. Them rolling at you is what you need a picture of, so good luck with that. Monica's sword does next to nothing to these guys. Wrong one. So I am just going to blow them up after we demonstrate them off. So I'm going to demonstrate them with match and then switch to the right pod. So come here, buddy. Come on. One of their attacks is rolling. And they cover a lot of ground pretty quickly. Don't back up and roll again. I want to show off your other attack. Come on. There you go. The other attack's just biting down on you. Max's wrenches are pretty effective against them, but it's not Max we're using right now. So right pod it is. And there goes my phone's low battery warning. Now here is another enemy. It's also one you need a scoop of. Actually, it just did what you need a scoop of, where it pulls its hand back and massages itself. These guys have 2 attacks, I believe. That's one right there. Oh, they have more than that. Then they have their side fist thing. And if I think there's a ways away from you, they have a projectile. No? The third thing they can do is heal themselves or an enemy. Let's see if we can get them to do that. Yeah, see? There you go. They can heal themselves and allies, and they have 2 attacks. Neat little creatures. Really hate them on the final level of this dungeon, considering the creatures that are there. And there's always seem to be in pairs. Always. But we'll get to that. I actually need a picture of the Ivanov. Need a picture of the Ram. Need a picture of the priest. I might have to not note this floor down later for one to get the scoops from. So far I can get 3 of them right here. And here's the diorama for the floor. Just 2 chests left and the monster defeated thing hasn't gone off. I wonder if this is a mimic. Is the last one a mimic? It is! Aren't I intelligent? It deduced the truth. I just gotta try estimating how much Thorn's gonna cut out of here to debate whether or not I want to do another floor.
Looks like we got 'em all.
Probably cut at least 10 minutes off this, right, Thorn? Probably more. Yeah, we're gonna do this floor. Okay. Mostly after seeing the title, I remember what's on this floor. And we do want to do this floor. That way we can do nothing but story stuff next time. I am not done with grinding yet, keep that in mind. So the playtime after this episode will go up significantly. But I did want to unlock this area for better grinding. Because I'm pretty sure this is the highest EXP yield that we can have. Like, these guys are worth a fair amount of XP, I just can't kill them that easily with Monica. So the reason I switch out to the Rat Pod here. But the highest EXP yield enemy is on this floor. He's not too hard to kill. Not the easiest either. As he can... Actually, before I try fighting him head on, I do have some. Okay. We'll get into it when we get there. Also, Masked Tribesman. Hello. Alright, fine, run at me, you little piece of shit. I should point out that the Masked Tribesman are one of the few enemies that can't be stunned by the gem round. As if you hit them from behind with the gem round, they almost instantly turn around before the second hit actually stuns them. So it's very hard to stun lock them. As for our new enemy, Dragon. Hence my comments in the video earlier that dragons were an entirely different species. This thing, I want to leave this in my inventory because we won't be able to if he happens to hit her with it. Has a couple of attacks. First one, I'm going to turn around here. You're not a passive monster, come on. Fireball. Does piercing damage, and if it hits you directly, it can inflict thirst. Actually, it can inflict first through guard. I was glad I did it right there. And it's not the only status effect they can inflict. As if that hits you, it can inflict stop, and they can just combo you into the dust. One of the few times status effects can actually be very, very annoying. That's why you want some heartthrob cherries when going against these guys. And while it might not look like much, because my weapon's a bit stronger than it's normally supposed to be at this time, I believe they have the highest EXP yield of any monster in the floor so far. I'm going to double check that real quick before we actually... at 50. Yeah, even the other big monster, the floor only has 30. The Holy Gemrons only have 38. How much do the yo-yos have? Yo-yos also have 30. So yeah, in terms of total EXP yield, this is the best floor for it. In terms of how fast you can get experience, the Little Dragon counterattack's probably the better floor. Unless you're doing this with Max, because Max can get through a lot of the harder enemies. But for Monica, Little Dragon counterattack is definitely the better floor. Or if you're training up Monica's magic, this would actually be better, because a lot of things here don't necessarily resist her magic. It just depends on what element you use. Which currently her weapon, or magic weapon, is wind, which isn't going to do a whole lot against a lot of these guys. I'm just going to item you. What do I have a lot of? Bomb. We'll go bomb. Holy big enemies. It's definitely the best one to train the Rat Pod for. There are a lot of Rat Pod targets here. So this one isn't necessarily the best for Monica, but for anything else, this place is great. I think Monica's sword does more damage to the dragons than Max's stuff. Actually, check on that again real quick while we're here. Yeah, the only ineffective weapons are basic guns and rocket launchers. Everything else does the same amount of damage to it. in terms of not being resisted. So, even Max is good against those beasts. Actually, Max is probably better because most of his things innately have more scale in them, which is what the dragons are weak to. And ice, which I think is another one of their weaknesses. So his hammer especially is really good for taking those out. Alright, and with that, that's all monsters on the floor. So, for anything other than Monica's sword, this is the best grinding spot so far on the floor. I would like to put the so far in there. Technically, the last floor of the dungeon is the best one for this floor. Like I said, not always the case. But it's going to be a long while before we can unlock that, and even when we do unlock it, with the special things around this chapter, we technically won't be able to take advantage of it until after we beat it. So yeah, these floors right here. This one right here is probably the best one in the game. Not in the game, but in this dungeon. But after getting past here, it's going to become a lot harder to actually train. So, if you happen to be playing along, which I highly doubt, considering the audience for this, or if you plan on playing this in the future, before you start putting together diorama stuff, well, you do have to put diorama stuff, but before you advance the story any further, get done whatever grinding you want done for Max and Monica. As when you get past this point, you'll be very limited in terms of grinding. You still use all your weapons and stuff, don't worry about that. But if you care enough about the extra synthesis points and the extra stats from when your weapons level up with the trainer characters in your party, then do it now. As for the rest of this dungeon, you will not be able to. That being said, we will see you guys in the next episode. And just to show it off, this is our current playtime before I finish off my grind. Just over 40 hours. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.